Hello. Test, test. We are on. We are on. On. All right. You guys probably want to see us, but we're missing one person. Robert McCall stepped out. What's up, YouTube? How you doing? I'm getting things set up for our recording of Disc Golf Answer Man podcast episode 254. 254. How are you, Eric? Oh, you're not on. Here we go.
Not on. I'm what? Hello?
You're still not on.
Hello.
Where are you at?
I'm good. It's not on either.
Where are you at, Eric McCabe?
I'm right here.
You're plugged in. Make sure you're plugged in.
That was my ears.
Oh, sorry. Now try.
Now? Still nothing. Well, it's better. There we go.
Why do you need so much gain on yours?
Because Chris Gain. I mean,
He's such a quiet talker.
that's why.
That's weird.
Very quiet.
His was off too, though. Can you hear it?
I can hear you, but there's a lot of air because I had to turn the gain up.
There's a lot of Eric.
What does yours sound like?
My microphone was off.
Right,
not
but how
bad.
about now?
Off. Check, test.
See,
pretty
yours-
hot.
Yours sounds good.
Loud.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. Loud. Check, test.
Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, hold on. Maybe that we don't need. Let's see what happens.
Whoa.
Here, what's we still there?
That was something. I don't.
Something happened.
That was phantom power.
Still
Yeah. Ooh,
can't hear me.
phantom.
You still sound low.
Still can't hear me.
Now try.
Now try. Better. There. Oh. there's a lot
But
of-
it is
there's a
really
lot of
loud. Yeah.
static.
What the heck?
I don't know why his has to be so loud.
Yeah, it hasn't been like that ever.
Wonder if
That's the
it's-
wrong one.
Bad connection.
Oh,
Try it.
I don't know.
Maybe just unplug it for a second.
He
I don't
did.
know.
I already did
Oh,
that
yeah.
earlier.
Huh.
What if that cable's going wrong? Bad, but
No, that
it
would-
wouldn't like not work very very good. It would just not work. Hear all that air?
Yeah, of course.
Jeez.
That's super weird.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
No.
Try unplugging it and plugging it back in.
It's so weird that you can't.
From the wall.
I don't know.
We
I don't
definitely,
know either.
but we definitely don't want to do the show like that, though.
To talk again?
Again? I mean, I can hear static or air or whatever you call it. Can you hear it?
Yeah, there's
Let me see.
nothing happening there.
Test. There's nothing coming out of that microphone.
Is there a switch on the back of the microphone that's turned
Uh-uh.
a certain way?
There's just the different voice patterns, but
Right. Yeah.
it's set up the same way as ours. Test it.
Just on the straight line.
Yeah.
Huh. Have you tried turning it on and turning it off again? Yes.
That's the right. Where is that tool in it?
Did
That's
somebody
yours, yeah?
did somebody cut the cable in half?
This one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. That's the one.
Am I too far? Am I too close to Eric? Is that,
I'm going to try some here.
let's find out.
Ah.
Test. Oh, it's that port.
It's the port.
There's something wrong
Portlandia.
with that port. Looks like I'm going to have to buy a new mixer board.
Soundboard.
All right, hang tight.
Hang tight.
Let me see what happens if I do this. Now talk.
No. Nope. Oh, no.
Maybe it is the cable.
Is the gain up on that one as well?
Yeah. All right, you guys are witnessing some really cool stuff, I'm sure, on YouTube.
Pretty fun. We got an Eric McCable on the chat. Classic.
Got what?
Eric McCable.
Nice.
Joe, this is a sweet vest. No need for give or take. It's just a sweet vest.
All right, I'm going to try something.
Nice. Chaser says,
Take your ears off.
hey, everyone put your podcast on mute for a second. Here it is. Chaser says, Robert and Matt can just share a mic, sweep the leg, duet style.
Da-da-da. Now what?
Let's do it.
This is so frustrating when this stuff happens.
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
We have another XLR somewhere? Hey, in the meantime, what's up, everybody on the chat? Thanks for joining us today. We've got some technical difficulties that we're trying to work out. Drop in the chat, though. Have you been playing disc golf? Because we haven't, because it sucks outside. It's very, very
It's gonna suck even more than
crappy outside. Yeah, it's about to get even worse.
Can you grab this there?
Yes. What?
Switch that out, see what happens.
Switched.
Nope.
Still nothing?
No
Nope.
good. No good.
Nope. Try that in the fourth input.
Okay.
Input?
No.
No, man. It's this microphone problem.
Hand me your that we just plugged in. A little troubleshooting going on here.
Troubleshooting. Hey, if y'all haven't checked out the coverage from the Cedar Hill Chill, Danny and Anthony went down.
Test.
Hello? No.
Do it again.
Nothing. Unbelievable.
Somebody from Orlando, Florida is calling. You think I should pick it up on air? Hello.
Hello, test.
Oh.
That's
Oh, it's the correct microphone.
okay,
Oh.
so it's not the cable.
Are we positive it's not the microphone?
What do we do? Okay, so
Take your cord. Yeah.
right, but it's all tangled up in here.
Maybe I can hear. Maybe I can reach mine. There you go. It's not the microphone.
Hello?
What the heck, dude?
So, oh gosh, you guys are probably hating us on YouTube.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the Cedar Hill Chill did look pretty nasty. But sorry, yeah, if you haven't checked out that coverage, Danny and Anthony went down to Cedar Hill, got some coverage of some pretty awesome players playing one of my favorite courses in Texas down there at Cedar Hill. I really like the Beaver course; it's pretty fun. Yeah. So yeah, check it out.
Weird new changes.
Yeah, a couple of pin placements we haven't had.
Hello?
Mm-mm.
What do you guys just want to text? Go answer emails?
I don't know what we're gonna do at this point.
I can go do.
This makes no sense.
Right. New XLR, Johnny says. But we just plugged in a different XLR. So I guess it might be that port.
I think it's
Sabotage. Talk. Check. Nothing. Has to.
Listen, all y'all.
It's the port, yeah. We're about to Nintendo this thing. This is Super Nintendo's
Super Nintendo stuff.
problem solving.
Oh, port's dead.
Yeah.
Port is
But 4 should work, right? Because we play SpeakPipe off that every week. Try that again.
4.
That's so strange. Dan says, take the $2 that I donated to Robert's hair and apply it to this. Thank you, Dan. I hope that this is just a $2 solution, but for some reason I think it probably won't be.
Talking to it real quick.
Talking to it real quick.
How long have you had that soundboard? Like a long time, right?
30 years.
About 3 years.
Yeah, but it's been good.
I
Yeah.
had the 3 right.
But part of that was correct.
I don't know what to do.
You guys record. I'll go do stuff. You figure it out later.
All right.
Nope.
All right.
Good question on does the mic need
Thanks,
phantom
guys.
power, Tony?
It's been real.
No,
Cool.
that's not.
We tried that a minute ago.
Don't get it. I'm just frustrated.
All right, enjoy.
It even worked at Paige's thing, at the
No.
live thing.
Yeah, no individual phantom power, just one overall switch for the
Yeah,
whole
there's
thing.
only one. Jeez
God,
Louise.
that is the loudest, and your mic is super hot as well.
Yeah, sorry. You're super.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm so sorry, guys. We're trying to figure this out.
Your
and we
mic is
can't.
very, very, very loud.
Okay. I'm trying to get it fixed. I'm trying to do things.
Check, test.
I think we're all loud.
I think we're good now.
Maybe I stole all his power.
Quick, is the channel muted? Yeah, I don't think it's that.
There's no mute.
So, how are we gonna do this?
Let me think.
Do you wanna
There's
sit-
only one line in.
Right. We can troubleshoot after.
No, we can do this. That part's simple.
Well, no, you just sit here, and then we
No,
can switch
you
the
sit
chords.
there. You sit there.
I sit here.
You stay right there.
I'll stay right here.
And then we
Control Alt Delete. Have we tried that?
that. There we go.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good
Well, yeah.
or looks good.
Sounds good on stream. Johnny says you want me to come down and fix it.
We need somebody, audio engineer, while we're doing all this other junk.
More
Yeah.
than anything in the whole world, Ron.
I apologize, guys. I don't know. I literally just used this on our Paige Bierkus
Right, on Friday.
Grady Shoe thing, and I used channel 1 and 2. I wonder if I did something to blow it.
I don't know.
That was the common denominator, right? That whatever was plugged into input 2.
2 or 4. Because right now we don't have SpeakPipe.
Yeah, but
plugged.
we were listening to me. Oh, because I was using the
Right.
the 1/8.
Yeah. Is that what we run SpeakPipe off of?
Yes.
Okay, well, at least we can still do that.
Can we hear music still?
I don't know. Let's find out. Bentley Emac just said he out. He said he's not even interested anymore. Caleb, that is correct. You done messed up, AA Ron.
Oh, I bet you loved that, didn't you guys?
Sorry for your ears on that one. Also, let's just circle back. Dallas saying Mozambique is the best gun in Apex Legends. Okay, first of all,
Whatever.
you need to get off that because it isn't.
All right.
I
we're
did
gonna-
actually
we're
knock
gonna
somebody
worry
with
about
it the
this
other day.
Another time. We
it's
will
all I
worry
found.
about it another time. It just really ticks me off.
Even if Mozambique is the only gun I find, throw it on the ground.
Yeah, not picking it up. I would rather get into a fist fight. Although I knocked somebody because like there was just people right in front of us. So I said, "Oh, well, here we go."
And then you clutch that
The pistol and then the fist fight.
All
Yeah,
right,
that was
guys.
funny.
Thank you for tuning in. I apologize severely with all the technical difficulties. As I said, everything was working perfectly fine up until the moment we went live.
Strength
Actually,
of
I hadn't tested it before we went live, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Strength of truth, no gate on the port. Good question though.
no what?
No gate on the
Oh.
port.
No gate.
Yeah, like
was
a
nothing.
minimum level that it has to reach to start
No.
making sound.
No.
No gate.
I mean, we messed with all the knobs that I could think of on here. I'll have to test it. What'll make me mad is as soon as we get off line, I'll like plug everything,
It's
unplug and
100%
plug
gonna
it, and
work.
it'll work. Yeah.
Yeah. Deuces, I play on PS4 right now. Bentley says, "Well, since the best opinion is gone now, let's talk about tacos." I mean, kind of rude, but I'm down to talk about tacos.
I'm gonna turn off everybody but you.
There.
I mean, no.
There.
I'm gonna turn off you and leave everybody else on. That would have made more sense.
Tim says
That would
sound.
much better burn.
Tim says sound problems never happen on Smashbox.
Yeah, right.
That's funny, dude.
It probably happened because Johnny V's on.
What brand and model is that soundboard?
It is
Old brand.
a Behringer
Behringer.
Zenix 1202.
Johnny got some good laughs out of that one.
Did he? All right, guys, we're gonna jump into this because we've already wasted enough time doing this stuff. You know, the one time you don't check it right before we go live. What now?
Marty, Marty Smith in the chat says, Bobby, loving the Instapot meals. You have us to thank for the Instapot inspiration. Yes. You're welcome. Actually, you have Shay to thank. I didn't really have anything to do with it.
That's true.
But he said, love mine. When you cook pinto beans in an Instapot, you don't fart.
Yeah, right.
I think that's true.
I don't eat a lot of beans, but maybe we'll have to test that out. I do like lentil beans with egg and rice, with egg torta.
Yeah.
Tortilla. My mom
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to find out more of what he's talking about, you can follow me at Uncle Bobby Jr., Uncle Bobby JR on Instagram. Please help me. Please help me be better than Robert. He has.
Wait, what?
When he first got here, I had more followers on Facebook and Instagram than him.
By a long shot.
But now he has more followers on Instagram than I do.
I had.
But combined followers, Facebook,
we're pretty
and
close.
Instagram, we're pretty close. But I need more followers on Instagram, so. Check me out at Uncle Bobby JR. And you'll find cooking, you'll find Sebastian, French Bulldog, and once disc golf season starts, you'll find more of my road to 850.
And if you decide to instead follow me on Instagram, don't follow both of us because that would just be a waste. J. Robert McCall. What you'll see on there is lots of Team Warden videos.
A lot of crying.
Lots of crying for when Bobby makes fun of me. In fact, you know what? Let's just riff on that for a second. We got an order.
Let's riff.
Yeah, we
got to show the YouTube people.
Yeah, we got an order from the retail store a minute ago, and we get requests to sign discs. Sometimes, a few discs a week here and there, and some weeks are more than others. And this specific request was sent to Bobby. And why don't you just tell him what it says there, Bobby? No, you need to move it this way a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. I can't read it, but tell him what it says.
Best McCall burn on bottom of disc.
Write the best McCall burn on bottom of disc. So that's what we've resorted to. Just standard burns 24/7. But if
first of all, I'm truly humbled when people want my autograph. It
Same,
amazes me every
100%.
day when I get those. When I'm trying to think about my job, or I get frustrated about my job just because things happen and stuff like that. And then I want to get requests like this, or I get people that come visit the store and they shake my hands. They listen to. One guy came in and he was like, they told Doug that they were big Disc Golf Answer Man fans, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They came in and they were like, they said something, and one of them said, yeah, give or take, or something like that. And I was like, yes, he really does listen.
I've gotten countless give or take messages and comments this week.
But this is the best. Bobby, write best R. McCall burn on bottom of disc. So I said I needed to think on this one because I needed to be a good one.
Super hateful.
If you have any suggestions, put them in the chat.
If you have any suggestions that you do put in the chat, then you're getting permabanned.
Permabanned.
The ban hammer will strike with fury. Anyway, yeah, so J. Robert McCall, come follow me on Instagram. When I started here, I think I had 800 or 900 followers. And I just eclipsed 5,000 the other day. So that was super cool. Super cool. So thank you guys.
I know what I need. I need to do giveaways. I have a bunch of discs in my closet that I could give away.
I'm going to do even more giveaways.
I shouldn't have gave you the idea.
I'm going to take your giveaways and double them.
Oh, God. Someone put hashtag Warden suck.
Okay, Caleb, first of all.
That would be a pretty good burn on the back of the disc.
The ban hammer is about to strike you. I'm just kidding.
Remember, Robert has a wrench, so you got to be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
F in the chat for sure, 100%.
F.
Pay your respects.
Am I just going to put F?
No, that's what when somebody's dead and you're watching Twitch chat, especially, they say press F to pay your respects in the chat, and then the whole chat is just F.
Will you find some torches for Robert No Chaser? You can get off the torches with me.
No, you can't, because a bet is a bet, and it's publicized, and everyone knows.
It's a 3-hour drive, and it's just not going to happen. Probably not until Waco.
Should have thought of that before you made the bet.
Yeah, whatever.
Should have thought about that before I
smoked
you.
In, because if you're on the Facebook group, you'll see that my daughter sent me a text, and she sent me a picture of her getting some Torchy's taco, and I was really proud and upset at the same time.
Hey, Danny, is there something going on with the focus on this camera? Bobby's seems to be constant, but mine is going in and out a little bit. Can you raise your chair up a little bit as well, Bobby, or do we just need to lower the camera?
The camera, probably.
Oh.
Because I'm as high as I can get.
Okay.
I heard you say "Hey Danny" live, but not
Yeah.
in real life.
Would you mind lowering Bobby's camera just a little bit?
Got a little bit of a headache.
Just a bit. And
There.
Hold on,
Oh,
yeah.
I hate when that happens.
I'll tell you when to stop. I got you. Stop. That should be good.
Oh, and the guy that was visiting was, I said, this is where Danny and Anthony sits. And he goes, oh, is that where Danny is when you're talking to Danny on the Discord? I said,
That's
yep, that's where
correct.
he is.
That is correct. Caleb says Robert is just way taller than Bobby. Obviously, you've met both of us, Caleb. There's a very drastic difference in our height. We're about the same height, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm 5'9".
Yeah. I'm 5'10". In your face.
Are you really 10?
6'1" with the hair, man.
I think the 5'10", the hair's in the 5'10".
No.
All right, we've only got a couple of speak pipe questions. Apparently, people are scared to send in voicemails. So we will get to those in a moment. But first...
Hey, cool daddy, Slick Breeze.
All right.
How do you get to be in charge of that every week? That's super funny,
Because I am.
you're the boss. You
All
started. You started this thing.
I did. All right. Let's see. Ready to record?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of... We will start that over. That's all, folks.
That's exactly what I thought. Got Elmer Fudd in the chat here. Nice.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. And we don't have Eric Where You At McCabe. We will explain later.
Where you at?
But we do have Robert. We going to Arizona McCall.
We going.
So we had some technical difficulties, and my mixer board is dying, and one of my XLR ports is not working. So Eric said, well, I've got a lot of course design work to do. So he stepped out, and it's just me and Robert McCall on this episode. Robert McCall and I are headed to Arizona for the Memorial Championships. We will be me, Danny, and Anthony are heading out there Saturday, and Brian Shintaco, and then Jeremy and Robert are flying out there Monday. But we're going to spend the entire week out in Arizona. We're going to be capturing all kinds of good content in the bags, in the mine, practice rounds. Danny's going to work with some of our players to create some more stuff for Physics of Flight. So I'm going to be, and then I've got photography. I even bought a double shoulder harness so I can carry two cameras.
Man, you crazy.
I'm going to have my Sony A9. I'm going to have the Dynamic Discs Sony A9, and then I'm going to have my Sony A7 III. One's going to have the zoom lens. One's going to have the close-up lens. So you're like, oh, you're far away. Click, click. Oh, you're right here up on me.
Pop,
click,
pop.
click. Boom. Gonna
Boom.
have all kinds of photos. So
That sounds awesome.
I'm excited. I am excited to get away from this 30-degree weather.
Yeah, and the snow and ice that's about to hit tonight.
The snow and snow and ice. And I will admit, even though it would have been nice to see some disc golf, I'm not too disappointed in not going to Vegas Challenge after finding out that they're actually getting snow there.
No,
Is it
thanks
snow
on that.
often in Vegas?
No, the weather hasn't been great there the last few years, though. Like, it'll be super windy and
I
cold.
remember 2
and
years
stuff,
ago
yeah.
when we went, it was pretty cold.
Yeah.
In
Well,
the
last
morning.
year, I remember Melton was telling me on a couple of approaches, his disc hit by the basket and stood up and just rolled for like a couple hundred feet because it was so windy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no thanks on that.
Yeah, no thanks on that.
That's gonna be a hard pass for me.
So we are super excited to do that, and we will not be. We won't do an episode next week because I won't take my gear. Of course, now I'm gonna have to order a new mixer board, but we will not take our gear to do. No, we are taking some stuff for audio recording because I was gonna do some stuff with the players. So we might have.
Maybe we'll just hop on the mic just to have a good time, you know?
hop on the mic.
Yeah, just enjoy ourselves.
I know one Arizona trip. I think I interviewed all the players. I had a mic in my hand and interviewed a player. So we might do something
that was
like
cool.
that, something similar like that. So.
Alternately, there will be more Mexican food out there than there is here. First episode of Tacos. Get ready.
I actually think we could do it this week. I was thinking about trying some tacos here and having us meet here and talk.
Dude, Marmol.
Tacos.
Let's get it.
Would we do live YouTube or just audio?
I don't know, man. We got to think about it.
It couldn't go on DD's channel because this is obviously not disc golf. This
Nah.
is tacos.
Yeah.
It could go on. Uncle
It could go on
Bobby
the
Jr.
Taco channel.
Oh, we'd make a whole YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
Taco channel.
Have you looked to see if there's a taco YouTube channel?
Spelled like that? Probably not. Taco.
YouTube taco.
There's
Show.
one called the Taco, like it's a
The Taco Show, the Juicy interview. That was 7 years ago.
but there's one called the Taco, but not with CO on the end, just like the word talk and then O on the end. It's like a celebrity whatever thing.
On YouTube or?
On YouTube.
Oh, well.
I also just realized that I changed off of the live chat, so let me just get back to that. My bad.
All right.
That's my bad.
All right, so enough taco talk.
Yeah,
This is disc golf
let's
talk.
get to disc golf talk.
All right, so let's get the show started. Here we go. I actually am already recording.
Yeah, we're rolling.
That's right. I forgot. We were already going.
Joe suggested that we do it on my Instagram. Good idea, Joe. You can follow me at JRobert.
It's just going to be 1 minute long segments.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so let's hop into the questions. Remember, guys, as always, you can send your questions to the Disc Golf Answer Man. We can get them on the air, and we will answer them for you. I am trying to find my place here. First one comes from Whoa. I think they do this on purpose. So
Whoa.
try to make me, maybe not. Here we go. Viatino
Yeah, okay.
Hostamancientiosen.
Yeah, I think that's it. I can't see it, so.
Hostamancient. I'll chat it to you.
Yeah, hit me with that.
See what you would say it is. It's questions on grip. If each of you had to lose the same 3 fingers on both hands, what 3 fingers would it be? What? What kind of question is that?
I mean, I guess I would leave my thumb and index finger. Those are pretty important.
No forehands allowed?
What?
That's what it says.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I guess I'd lose my pinky, ring finger, and middle finger, and just
All
go
right.
with the
We'll just go with your
2-finger grip.
I guess. So.
Gosh.
See if you can say that name real
But
quick.
I don't want to lose my fingers. Did you text it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, there's no way that's real.
Yeah. Is that another Danny submission?
No.
You should have seen the look on his
He
face.
says no with a guilty conscience.
You didn't let the joke fly.
Since I ruined his joke last time, he's like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not wasting my time. All right, next question comes from Man Dude Bro from Fort Collins, Colorado.
This is man dude, bro.
I got 22 dynamic discs, 4 Latitude 64 discs, and 4 Westside discs for Christmas. Wow.
Sweet.
I have played for about a year, but very sparingly. I aspire to become really good at disc golf. So my question is, how should I start practicing to get my form and distance up? Should I start throwing putters only and then move up, or practice with all of them? Putters, mids, fairways, and distance. Thanks for advice. Love this podcast.
If you're just, did you say he was just starting out, like brand new starting out, or he's been playing for a little while?
I have played for about a year.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's good to start with slower speed discs, putters, and mid-ranges. Focus in on those, especially ones that aren't super overstable. That's going to help you to learn clean form, and that's what's going to take you from being an okay disc golfer to a better disc golfer. That's what you got to do. Once you feel good about those, once you can get a good release on those, and say you're throwing those mids, 250, 270, somewhere in there. Or maybe even a little earlier than that, you can step up to a fairway driver, step up to a distance driver, things like that. But starting with slower speed discs, I think, is a good idea for everybody, just because it helps you to learn form a little bit more efficiently.
There you go. Next one comes from Yelty.
Yeah.
Hi, Disc Golf Fans, Man Trio plus Anthony and Danny. I've currently added the Ballista Pro to my bag after this was recommended by Robert.
Nice.
So a little shout out to him for giving me great advice. I've added about 15 to 20 meters, that's about 50 to 65 feet, more to my backhand throws. Now I need to fine tune my backhand form. This mold just bombs.
Yeah, it really does.
I guess Thomas must be very proud of this disc. Oh, thanks all for all you do, and please do more coverage. I really like watching Cedar Hill.
Yeah, 100%. The Ballista Pro is a super bomber. That, for me, gave me probably not quite as much distance as you were talking about there, Yelta, but I don't know. I probably gained 30-ish feet over an Enforcer, which I was throwing for distance at the time. So it's a great mold. I like it.
All right, so here's the question. I figured it would be first on the list, but it has now come up.
Yeah, let's get it.
This one is saying, I'm really wondering how Dynamic Discs feels about the Latitude 64 partnership with Disc Mania.
Sure.
Are you worried it will impact DD's ability to remain fully stocked with inventory? Was Rusco consulted? I know you will give vague answers, but I thought I'd try. Thanks for all the great disc golf media.
Right. Great question. You
So,
want
I
me to
guess-
handle it, or you want to?
Did something happen? I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, especially not on the internet or
Yeah.
Facebook. People didn't freak out about anything.
Okay, real quick break for YouTube. Yes, YouTubers, if you're brand new to YouTube, we answer questions that were submitted to the website Disc Golf Answer Man Show, because this is the audio. This is actually a live broadcast of the audio recording. Once we're done with our show, the audio show, then we'll hop back on for YouTube and answer y'all's questions. So keep those questions, and then we will get to them after the audio show, if that makes any sense. So back to, and actually that question came up in the
chat.
Deal. So talk about your thoughts. He's gonna keep it real.
Turning on the keep it real.
Keep
sign.
it real. Oh, someone flipped that keep it real light on.
Yeah, thank you, Chaser. You know what's going on. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, Jeremy was consulted about this a while ago. He was, I mean, I think he was just brought into the loop so all parties involved could have a good understanding of what was going to happen. From what I understand, this will not affect our stock as far as being able to keep stock on our shelves here at the distribution center. The machine time that we've had will still be the same as it has been in years past. How it affects DD, I think one of the cool things about how this whole thing happened, and it wasn't really anything that we did when this specific Discmania Latitude deal happened, but just something that I think speaks to something cool, is that when we went looking for manufacturing, we ended up with Latitude 64 in Sweden, and we chose them because we thought their distribution center was, that their manufacturing was the best in the world. We've had a great partnership since, and so when Discmania started looking for someone else to manufacture a line of their discs, I think it's cool that they chose the manufacturer that we use as well. I think it just proves that there's good quality products made by a lot of companies, and that Latitude products are, high quality. And so as far as how it affects our team players, we won't have our team players throw Discmania discs. Discmania intends to remain a standalone company who are going to have discs manufactured by different manufacturers, but all under their name. And so you won't see, Zach Melton throwing a PD2 or, I think Instinct is the new disc that they came out with. As of now, you won't see him throwing that. We will still throw the same discs that we always have. Their players will still throw the same discs that they always have with those new additions, but not looping into Latitude 64 DD or Westside, as I understand it.
There you go.
So, yeah. It's a big, complicated thing, but I think people are making a bigger deal out of it than it actually is.
Well, it is.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and it's a little confusing because if you think about it, we were just a company, Dynamic Discs, that were having Latitude 64 manufacture our discs.
Right.
Just like other companies have other bigger companies manufacture their discs. We took on a different stance because we wanted to make a big impact on the U.S. market with Latitude and Westside, and we said, okay, all three of us, we're gonna take this on together,
right? And we'll be the sole distribution.
We're gonna be the sole distributor for it, and where I lost my train of thought. So yeah, we became the distributor.
Yeah.
We told Lat, we was like, man, we know what we're doing. We're good at what we're doing. Let us become a distributor for your plastic.
Yeah.
All three of it. And they said, okay. And then our thinking was, okay, then we're all going to come together. We're going to push these three brands. And so for another brand to come along and say, hey, we want Latitude 64 factory to create the discs, people kind of naturally assumed that we were all going to work together like the three brands were, but that's not the case. It's just the brand seeking a manufacturer to make some discs. Yeah. They happen to be a place where we get our discs made, and we've made a sort of a partnership, or as a lot of people dub us, the Trilogy. So
right, and a bunch of people were asking, is this going to be they said Quadrilogy and Tetralogy.
No.
Those were the names that were thrown out there. No, like I said, Discmania intends to remain a standalone company, and we will still retain our partnership with Latitude 64 and our joint ownership of Westside Discs.
Absolutely. Next question comes from Jackson from MT
Montana.
Yeah. Got lost in the abbreviations there.
Oh, here. Sorry.
Oh, there. That's what it was.
Got to click it back off.
The keep it real light was in my face.
That was still on. It's very bright.
Please don't forget to turn that off next time. In league play, in a car, and well, gosh.
Yeah, roll it back.
In league play, and a card mate called time on me while I was waiting to putt. I was up for putting, but the previous player hadn't cleared the basket, and his disc was hanging in the chains. He was arranging the discs in his bag and wiping snow off his upshot disc, then went and cleared the basket. I'm wondering if the clock rule applies to people to clear the basket as well, or if my clock starts when the basket is cleared, or if I only have the 30 seconds regardless of the basket, if the basket is cleared.
Right. So, yeah, definitely can't call clock on somebody who is waiting to putt because there's the putter in the chains. I believe how the rule reads, without looking it up, is that once you approach your lie, you have 30 seconds to throw your shot once distractions have cleared. I'm pretty sure it reads something along those lines. So if somebody is, wiping off their disc, especially if you're playing in snow, you guys know how not fun that can be to play in snow. So if they're doing that and the putter's hanging in the chains, don't rush to putt into it. I don't think that's a good play. But your time doesn't start until distractions are cleared, and I would call a disc and chains a distraction. Like you're responsible to remove that putter from the chains.
Yeah.
Once they've done that and they're away from the basket, then I would say that's when your time starts. So no, I definitely would not call that a legitimate time call on you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, next one is from Brandon. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man family. My question is related to Westside Discs. I have a VIP Pine, a VIP Tersus, and a VIP Warship as my mid-range
Digging
discs.
the mids. Nice.
Are the Pine and Warship different enough to warrant carrying both of these discs? Or should I look at replacing one of these with a different mid-range disc? I find the Warship to be stable to slightly understable for me, the Tersus to be very understable, and the Pine to be stable to slightly overstable. Thanks for all you do.
Sweet.
I haven't thrown, I've thrown them just like for testing and video, but the Tersus I can attest is understable.
Yep.
But what I've always loved about the Tersus is that it comes back.
Mm-hmm.
It fades back.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you throw it, definitely.
Sure.
But yeah, I think those discs would be great to cover your mid-range slots. Eric's not sitting here, but if he was, he'd say, you should try an EMAC Truth. So
Right.
just in case you weren't aware of that, you should try one out. But yeah, the Pine covers that overstable to straight and headwinds or kind of any winds disc. I think the Warship is really underrated and very versatile. It goes farther than almost any other mid that I've thrown. It's got a slightly wider rim and it's pretty cool. And then the Tersus I like for that understable stuff. So I don't think you need to check anything else out unless, like I said, you're going to try an EMAC Truth. Somebody on the chat brought up something that I think is worthwhile. Chaser said he's also asking if there's a clock for somebody to clean out their disc from the basket.
Okay.
As far as I understand, there is not. But it's just, I don't know. You're just trying to be courteous at that point, and so I think it's just common sense to not take forever to get your stuff back together. I don't know. That's what I would say.
All right, next one comes from Jeff from Mitten, from the Mitten.
Nice.
Is that like a place, the nickname for a place?
Yeah.
Like the Panhandle of Oklahoma type thing?
It's something like that, but I think it's somewhere up in the north.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Hey, Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric 1100 Rated Course Designer McCabe,
Wow.
and Robert Mr. Suave
Oh, sweet.
McCall.
Nice.
I'll be moving to the Charleston area for work from Michigan. Maybe, is Michigan the
There
mitten?
you go.
Okay. Is it shaped like a mitten?
I guess so. I don't know.
Like a kitten mitten?
I'm not great at geography.
Like a written kitten mitten?
You got more?
Like a smitten written kitten mitten?
Hey, that was pretty solid.
The difference in sanctioned tournaments is astounding. If I were to start running sanctioned tournaments, would I be able to compete as well? Or do I give up on playing as many tournaments so I can help grow the tournament scene in the area? Thanks for everything y'all do. And as always, keep it real.
Turn it back off. But just to keep it real for a second. There are a lot of people I know who run tournaments who participate in them as well as a player. Usually those people have...
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, usually those people have help, though. If you are the sole tournament director and you're also playing in the event, that's going to be really tough, and I would recommend against that. But if you're running, a smaller tournament, a C or a B tier, and you have good volunteers to help back you up and to collect cards and count those in between rounds and things like that, you could play in that tournament. I would not recommend it every time. I certainly would not recommend it your first few times, just so you can run a smooth event, because people care a lot more about that than they do about you getting to play the event, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But good for you and good on you for thinking about running some tournaments, get a few of those under your belt, and then you can see what it's like to play one of them once you have some volunteers to help you out.
So someone on the chat says the main part of Michigan is shaped like a mitten.
There you go.
So if the cat got into a fight, would it be a smitten, written, kitten, mitten who's been bitten?
Oh, my gosh. You did it.
You know that was good.
You did. That was solid.
That was good.
That was solid.
All right. Let's see. What's something that's just from Dalton? What's something that will compare to a sheriff in a fairway driver?
Sheriff.
Get yourself a sheriff.
You know what I think is kind of like a sheriff and a fairway driver is the convict, lucid convict. One thing that I liked about the sheriff is that it had a decent bit of turn, but it usually had some fade at the end unless you just absolutely cranked it over. And that's kind of how the convict flies for me. I'll throw it on some hyzer. It'll get to flat and move a little bit right, and then always have some fade. And so if it was up to me, I'd say, yeah, convict is probably a good choice for you. Signature disc of four-time world champion Paige Pierce. I mean, if she does it, it's probably pretty good.
It's probably pretty good.
More than likely, it's
Is
pretty
that
good.
old? Can we say that this year?
Oh, I'm sure they still say it.
Oh, they still say it. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so this one says, "What's up? What's happening, Bobby? Cool, Daddy, Slick Breeze." And then in parentheses it says, "Inserts audio."
Oh my gosh.
Eric's sweetness.
Oh, wait.
Yes, in your face.
Hey,
In your
cool
face.
Daddy, Slick Breeze.
Did you save that audio just forever?
Yeah,
That's fair.
maybe.
Insert audio here.
All right, it says that. Let's see, Eric and the other guy. Ooh.
Okay. Well, go from Mr. Suave to the other guy.
I know. Was curious
pretty
what blend of plastic the Aviators are made of. I throw a lot of frisbee with my dog Pippin, and have experimented with a lot of different brands of frisbees. The Aviator stands alone in the durability category.
Yep.
Man.
Category.
I've seen Pippin put a hole in an Ultra Star on the first throw, but the Aviator tends to last at least a couple months. What plastic blend makes it so tough? I believe it's a blend that they don't use for regular plastic or regular discs, right?
It was created specifically for that, and
Yeah.
that's the only mold that we use it in.
Yep.
So it's a secret.
It's a secret. Pippin equals the best dog name ever.
That is a good dog name.
David's message was retracted, so I'm not sure. Maybe David made fun of us.
I mean, we prefer, Bobby and I prefer Walter for a dog name and Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Yeah, they're both good.
So funny last night when Walter came over, I couldn't figure out why they were like really staring at me, and I looked over and the water was they needed more water.
Oh, yeah.
So I put the water, as soon as I put it down and I took that picture, both of them had their faces in there. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. When Walter came back over to our house, he did that too. More.
Oh, just more
Yeah.
drinking water? Yeah.
Like he's never drank water in
Like
his whole
toward
life.
the end there, they were like
Oh,
running
just
from the
darting.
kitchen to
Yes.
the living room to the kitchen to the living room.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Eric interjects Ralph and Maverick are also good
Oh, yeah,
dog
Ralph
names.
and
I'll agree.
This question is from Mark. Hello, Disc Golf Fans, man. I have a disc origin question. Oh, Eric, if you're still watching, here you go. I have an origin question that Eric should be able to answer easily. My first tournament win came in 2016 at a Trilogy Challenge event. I was actually put super pumped, but I'm sure he meant super pumped.
Probably.
Since I owned a very few discs, and as a perk, I won a bag full of discs as well as the Deco Die Trophy disc. Now that I've been playing for a few years, I'm getting into collecting discs. Eric, can you tell me how early of an EMAC run is the 2016 Deco Die Truth? It has your signature stamp on the bottom of the disc.
I mean, I can help you with that.
Can you tell me how early of an EMAC run is? Okay, yeah, go.
Well, I mean, if you got it in 2016, then it was probably made in 2016. The earliest EMACs were made in, Eric, you can correct me, 14? I think that's right. A couple of years before that. And so it's not a first run or anything like that. But it is, it's now probably 3 years old. So I wouldn't say it has like huge collector value, but it's not what you would get off the shelf today. It's certainly a different production run than that. Yeah.
While we wait for Eric's answer, hopefully he's still listening or watching the show. I want to make sure I remind everybody that Trilogy challenges to register to run a Trilogy challenge that has been opened up, and we already have close to 80, I believe I asked
Nice.
to play. Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
we're doing really good, but you want to make sure you get into there to run a Trilogy challenge. That's where you get to try, well, as the person that hosts a Trilogy challenge, you order the players packs and you get them, and it's 3 discs, and then you have your players come out and they pay the fee to play. And I can't remember what it is this year, but you get 3 discs, a T-shirt, scorecards, a mini, and did I say T-shirt?
Yep.
The 3 discs are the Dynamic Discs Vandal, which is the driver, the West Side Gatekeeper,
Yep.
which is the putter.
Yep.
And
That's the mid range.
That's the mid-range, and the Latitude 64 Keystone, which is the putter.
Yep.
So you get brand new discs that are not being released in those particular plastics, and you get to try them out. And a lot of people, they fall in love with a specific disc. Like me, what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably find out people that don't like the Vandal but like something else, and I'll trade them for something else, just like I did with the Deputy. By the time we were about halfway through the Trilogy Challenge where the Deputy was, I had like 12 Deputies, because most people just kind of gave them to me because they weren't using them.
You had accrued multiple deputies at that point.
So trilogychallenge.com, check it out. One more thing, United States Amateur Match Play Championships. It was huge last year. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge this year. We're giving away 18 veteran baskets and discs for life, asterisks, 10 years. You can win discs, but it's going to be awesome. You play local brackets in your area. It's cool. It's fun. It's match play format, which makes it very interesting because if you think someone is going to win, they may not be the person that wins in match play. So really cool stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun with that on Facebook and YouTube. But you can sign up right now to get a bracket started, or if you want to play in a bracket, go to discoffmatchplay.com and get information on that. Caleb says, I'm excited for USA NPC, and I am as well.
It's going to be awesome.
I agree with you, Caleb.
The discs for this year are super cool.
Oh, yes, you get a, what do you get?
Lucid X Escape.
See, you get a disc that you can't get, a Lucid X. Everybody is loving the stiffer plastic of the Lucid X, and you get an Escape, a very unsung hero of the disc golf world.
Yeah, and I think it's going to have just that little bit of stretch, over a traditional fairway driver with a little bit of added stability. So I think people are going to love that. And then a medium Keystone. And the Keystone is like, man, it's so good to throw. Just really easy to throw straight. You can work it to the right if you want to. You can have it hold hyzer if you want to. But I was just starting it on a very small amount of hyzer and letting it stand up straight, and it would just go. And it's a great disc. So yeah, check that out for sure if you have not already. And if there's not one in your area, you can run one. US Amateur Match Play Championship has to be the easiest event to run because you just say, hey, do you want to play? Okay, sign up on UDisc. Hey, you want to play? Sign up on UDisc. You do this with 16 people. Once they've all signed up, they pay through there as well. You don't have to collect money. You press a button to randomize the bracket. You receive the discs and get them to people, and that's it. It's easy, easy, easy.
Someone asks, has anybody able to test the Lucid X Escape? I have not been able to throw it. I
Not yet.
held it in my hand, though.
It feels
And
fantastic.
and just that it's the, wait, do they get the one that I saw, the ice one?
Yes.
That's the one they get?
I'm pretty sure.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. There was like stacks on stacks of
People are
those
going to go
Lucid
crazy.
X.
It's
Yeah,
when I
it's
say ice,
clear.
it's the clear, super clear one. There's just something really cool about
Yeah.
it.
Super fast. Paul on
Sunday. Super fast.
super fast.
Super fast FAQ.
Paul on the board says, is a player allowed to play in multiple match play events? What happens if someone advances in more than one? Taco, you can just give it to me. Thanks. Yes, you can. You can play in multiple match play events. If you win one, don't play another one because it's kind of a waste. Unless you really just want to get the discs. But if you were to somehow win two, then the person who got second would move on in the next thing. But don't do that. Just win one and then be done, unless you want to get another set of discs. And then, yeah.
Okay, we said something wrong. Eric McCabe is correcting us. The ice ones are for GBO.
Ah, sorry.
But you still will have Lucid X Escapes for USA and PC.
But if you're coming to GBO, come on, dude.
This is why we
Those
don't
Lucid
say
X Escapes are incredible. They look beautiful.
All right, next question comes from Matthew. Was currently playing a casual round on a 280-foot par 3 across water. My drive struck a tree near the green and landed in the water. It did not look like it ever crossed land, but the tree it hit was in bounds. Was just curious the correct way to play this. Would I need to re-tee or just play my stroke and play from, or just take my stroke and play from near where it went in? Thanks for promoting the sport we all love.
All right. I wanna look this up to make sure that I'm saying the right thing, because I had heard before if you hit a tree that's in bounds, but your disc doesn't cross in bounds, you play it as if you hit the tree. But I don't think that's correct. I heard that when I very, very first started playing disc golf.
So what you're saying? Okay, so what the scenario is that? So the rule is, what's the rule? If you throw something out of bounds and it is such a way where it goes in bounds at some certain point, then your lie is within the inbounds area. But in this case, the tree is overhanging to where it would have. He's saying that if it hit the tree,
It would have.
where it hit the tree was in bounds, but it kicked it out of bounds.
No.
No,
If
that is
it-
not what he is saying.
If it was
Don't listen to
in
this.
bounds, then that would be fine. You'd take it up there. But what he's saying is that the tree itself is in bounds, but the part of the tree that he hit, like a branch or something,
Oh, then no, it would be out of bounds.
was out of bounds. And I'm pretty sure that's correct as well. I want to super double check just to make sure that I'm not saying anything wrong. But yeah, I think it has to physically cross in bounds in order to be considered in bounds. Even if that's extremely unfortunate and now you have to take it all the way back and almost re-tee, that's it. Sorry, man.
So Mike asks
Life's
on the
hard.
board, where do I find those lucid escapes at GBO? Mike, I think you answered your question. You find them at GBO.
You're just going to want to go to GBO,
You're going to want to go to GBO.
and then they'll be there.
They'll be there.
There
I
you go.
think that's what you're asking. Next question comes from Trevor.
But
Oh,
really
you
the
know,
retail store, probably.
This is for disc golf or disc golf strong. I need
Okay.
to give that to Seth, who's killing it, by the way. Download that disc golf strong app. Get on there and start. I see people already saying they've felt improvements in their health and in their play just from doing a few weeks of the disc golf strong app. So check that out on the App Store, Google Play. This one is from Trevor. So I've been a forehand dominant player the entire time I've played. I almost always drive using forehand. I've been doing mid-range and putting backhand. Is there a putter in mid-range specifically developed for forehand putting? Sometimes if you have the right line for a forehand approach or putt, I want to forehand, but have struggled with clean release on bigger profile discs.
So made specifically for forehands, no. But there are some discs that I think work better for forehands. And generally, they're the more overstable discs that have kind of a flatter top and not as tall of a profile. Even though the Harp's kind of tall, I think the Harp fits that bill. Same with like a Slammer or a Cenas, something in that family. I have not seen a whole lot of success with people forehanding, judges and wardens and stuff like that. But if I'm in the woods and my only play to the basket is to just try and, throw a short forehand putt, a 30-foot forehand putt, then I'll just kind of try and throw it like I'm throwing an ultimate Frisbee. Just kind of pop my wrist and not try and overpower it. So to answer your question, I don't think there are ones specifically made for forehands, but I do think some work better than others. Usually they're the flatter, more overstable putters.
There you go. Next one is from Kyle. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. I have a question on testing behind new discs. Oh, this is, Kyle, this is a often brought up question when it comes to discs and speed and flight and all that.
Let's get it.
I was wondering if the discs are the disc is thrown from a machine so you can get the perfect throw each time and get the best idea of how it flies.
Right.
We've gone over that multiple times.
And the answer is no.
Kyle. Send the new disc out to some pros and get all the feedback to help come up with an idea of the flight, or mostly rely on how the disc is molded and how they tell it should fly like, or none of these. Any insight of this subject would be great. As always, keep it real. All right, Kyle, well, I'm going to keep it real on the machine. No, there is no machine. We've gone over this multiple times. And it's just kind of, and I'm only saying that because there's a lot of back and forth. Yes, it would be wonderful if a machine could throw a disc the same way, but not every manufacturer is going to have the same machine. Not every manufacturer is going to have the same environment with which to throw the disc. Because if we were outside here in Kansas and we had a machine throw it, and someone over in a state where there's hardly any wind and they throw the discs, it's going to react differently because of the wind. So what you can maybe say, well, we'll throw it inside. Well, where are we going to find where's everybody going to have a huge stadium to throw it inside? To have you're just never going to have the exact
Like perfect
elements
yeah.
and situation to where that is doable.
Yeah, to where across the board it's uniform. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Do we send the new disc out to some pros?
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah, and so, okay. So I think the third part of the question was, is it determined by how what the mold is supposed to do is how we determine the flight? Yeah, so I think you're kind of probably talking chicken and an egg there. So the way that we mold discs is we have a flight in mind, right? We say, we want a disc to do this, We want, like when we were talking about the Maverick, we wanted something, a slower fairway driver that was straight to slightly understable. So we send that to Thomas, and then he goes into his magic laboratory of magic. I don't really know what it is, but he draws it up, right? Because he's designed discs for years and years now. He knows in order for that to happen, the underside of the rim needs to look like this. The flight plate needs to look like this. The parting line height needs to be this. Things like that. And he makes what he thinks is going to be the best replication of what we sent to him. Then they will test that in Sweden, usually, just to see, is it anywhere close? Most of the time it is, because he's good at what he does. Then he'll send those to us, and we'll test them and say, okay, that is exactly what we want. Let's run it. Or, hey, that's less stable than what we want. That's more stable than what we want. So in order to say that we're entirely dependent on, the flight to be made by the machine, yes, but you can't know exactly how a disc is going to fly just by looking at the mold. You have to throw it in order to understand. So we send those to professionals. We test them here. We make tweaks as needed. And then by that time, we have an idea what the flight is supposed to be like. I wish we had a robot. It'd be really cool, but we don't.
We do not. Next one is from, this is the same question. Oh, we do have a speak pipe. Hold on.
Nice.
Let's see. This one is from...
You were going to play Cool Daddy Slick Breeze again, weren't you?
Hello, Bobby. Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
All right. This one's from Zach.
You were the worst.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer crew. This is Zach in North Carolina. First off, let me start by saying that I really appreciate what you guys do. I really look forward to hearing you every week and hanging out in the YouTube chat when I can.
Sweet.
So thanks for everything and keep it up.
Are you on here now, Zach?
Now on to my question. I observed something recently. I'm not sure if it's just in my head or not, but I wanted to see if you guys had a similar experience. I bag a Goldline Fury that I use for kind of right turning backhand shots that imitate a forehand. I don't really have a good distance forehand, so I use that instead. And since I like to try new things, I picked up a Witness, expecting kind of a similar flight, a little bit slower, maybe even a little bit more understable. I figured it would be really good, powered down in the woods, things like that. But I found it doesn't want to turn unless I give it a good amount of power. It'll just kind of fly on a hyzer. And then if I give it enough power, it'll really flip and move to the right. So it's almost like there's a threshold there before it starts to turn, where the Fury will turn more progressively. Even powered down, it'll still turn, just less. But this Witness doesn't want to turn at all until I get good power on it. Then it just wants to turn into a roller. So is that something with the way the disc is designed? Is that just in my head? I'd be curious what you guys think. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
What do you think, Robert?
That's an interesting question. And yeah, different discs act different ways, obviously thrown at different speeds. Look at a disc like the Thief and the Convict. The Thief and Convict have pretty similar numbers. The Thief is a little bit slower, and now it has turn on the disc, but I'm pretty sure the Convict does as well. And the Thief, when thrown at lower speeds, like my wife likes to throw the Thief a lot, and her max distance probably isn't but 200 feet or 220 or something like that when she really gets a hold of it. And the Thief for her is pretty stable because it has a pretty strong low speed stability. But once you get past a certain point, the high speed understability kind of counteracts the low speed overstability. So if she's throwing that, it acts overstable. But then if Eric Oakley's throwing it, it acts like a roller because it doesn't have much high speed stability. And that may be the case with the Witness as well. I haven't thrown a Witness so slow that it wouldn't turn before. But I think there are just kind of those different thresholds with discs where they have to be at a certain speed to really turn. That's kind of what you see with distance drivers a lot. Guys like AJ Risley, you put a Ballista Pro in his hand and it goes super far and turns to the right and then comes back. But if you put it in somebody like, my hand or someone who throws a little bit less far than me, then a lot of times it's just going to kind of go straight, maybe move even a little bit right, but not a whole lot out of the box unless I force it. It just has to do with the speed and the profile of the disc, and that's going to be different for different arm speeds. Some of those I think have a wider sweet spot. So like you were talking about for you, the Fury just fits a really good sweet spot in your form to where it's natural for it to turn. But yeah, sometimes discs just act different for different people. That's all it is.
All right, this next one comes from Steven. What up, Disc Golf Answer fam? I love the show and thanks for all you do. I've recently switched to a pure as my main putter, and I love the feel.
Sweet.
I do have issues with approach shots with this disc, though, as it doesn't have much glide for me.
Huh.
Getting the power right is tricky, and I have noticed that I have to put more power on it than I'm comfortable with around 100 to 200 feet. Any tips on putters with a similar feel but with more glide? And I don't like the feel of beads or deep rim putters.
Boy, do I have a disc for you. Have you heard
of
the Warden?
The bird.
The Warden is a little bit deeper than the Pure, but I really do think it's probably the correct answer to this. It has a little bit more glide than the Pure. I don't feel like I have to throw it very hard to take advantage of that glide, and it does not have a bead. And so if I was to make a suggestion, all team allegiances aside, I think the Warden is a really good one to try out.
The only thing I don't like about the Warden
is that it's too good for you.
Is that when I throw it, my fingers feel like they get wrapped up in the rim.
Get good.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. It's different for different people, right? Like
Right.
some people, like you love the Deputy. I don't like throwing the Deputy as much because it feels a little shallow for me. But a lot of people make it work.
Well, how would you compare the Pure and the Deputy?
The Deputy is probably around the same depth, but more understable than the Pure.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something to turn a little bit, the Deputy would be a great suggestion. Or even maybe the new Latitude 64 Keystone might be a good one as well.
Keystone.
Yeah.
All right, this question is from Zach D. I putt with the Maidens and like the small profile, but from 30 feet out it is more stable than I want. Is there a disc with a similar feel but less stable, preferably with a bead, but I'll take all suggestions.
I was under the assumption that the Maiden was pretty straight at 30 feet. That's what he said, right? The Maiden?
It just says, but from 30 feet it is more stable than I want.
But the Maiden is the putter that he's asking about,
yeah.
Something with a similar feel, but that's a little bit straighter. Man, it doesn't get a whole lot straighter than that for me. I think, like I said, the Keystone doesn't have a bead. That might be a good one to try out. But if you are specifically looking for a bead, one that might be kind of similar but could give you different results would be the Makana from Latitude 64. It's going to be a little bit deeper than a Maiden, not by a whole lot, but it does have a bead as well. I think a disc like the Marshall might be a similar stability to the Maiden, so I don't think you would see a huge difference in between that and the Maiden as far as putts go, personally. So you'd want to try something with a little less stability, I think.
So just so you guys know, a lot of you have been asking about fantasy disc golf. We are doing something with Disc Golf Pro Tour and their fantasy disc golf thing they have going on. Steve Dodge is supposed to be getting me more information with that. We are also going to create a Disc Golf Answer Man Skip Ace with
Nice.
Johnny V. We'll have that as well. So we're going to figure out how we're going to incorporate all that different stuff, because Steve Dodge, they do it a little bit differently. Because we make picks and then they battle against our picks type thing.
Yeah.
And that depends on what you can do as far as winning prizes. Now with Skip Ace and Johnny V, basically we just create a group. Is it a group? No, it's a.
Yeah, we create a
Do
group.
they call it a group?
Within we create a group within.
Is that what they call? I thought they called it
with
something
Skip
else.
Ace,
Maybe
yeah.
it's
A league.
League. That's what it is. Yeah, league. We'll create a Disc Golf Answer Man League. We don't have to do it quite yet, because my understanding is because of some stuff that happened, they won't count Las Vegas Challenge.
Yeah, but
So-
you do need to get on there for the memorial.
Right. So we'll have one ready for the memorial, and we'll do different things as far as prizes from us. So Disc Golf Pro Tour is kind of working with them, but they'll take care of the prizes and stuff like that. We just got to get our picks in. Skip Ace is us. We'll talk about it and we'll put our picks in, and then we'll give away prizes based on everybody within the pool of the Disc Golf Answer Man League. But you got to
Right.
be in the Disc Golf Answer Man League. Steve dodging you, Bobby. No, Steve's not dodging you.
So Johnny on the chat says, yes, all your guys are still in from last year. You can join with the code DGAM.
There you go.
Nice.
So Johnny's probably on it already, making the making the league and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, if you want to join, go type in league code
the game.
DGAM, password DGAM.
Perfect.
There you go.
Curran. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
My question is about putting release.
Nice.
I have a hard time consistently releasing my putter at the same angle every time. Sometimes I release it nose down or nose up, causing it to miss the basket. What are 3 keys to creating a clean, repeatable putting release at the correct angle?
Well, you're
Are there any mental, physical drills you do to release the disc at the correct angle?
Well, I mean,
Thanks for all you do.
yeah, thank you. You got more? Keep it real?
Keep it real.
Okay, cool. So you're asking for 3 keys to get your angle the same every time and kind of the angle that you release at and then the spot that you release at consistent every time. And really what you're asking is how to be a good putter, because that's not just one aspect of putting. Like, that's almost all the aspects of putting that are important. Consistency is one of the most important things in putting, is doing the same thing every single time. And so the only way that you can do that, there's not a trick, there's not a easy solve all. It's just you go and practice and you putt the same way so many times until that's the only way that you can putt. I will say even with all that practice, you're gonna be crushing it. You're gonna be making all your putts. You start really close. You start at 10 feet. You back up to 15, 20, 25, and you're making all your putts from that range. That's awesome. You're going to get out on the course, and I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to perfectly hit that nose angle and that release point every single time. Plain and simple. So you absolutely need to practice the same thing every time. Decide what you want that to be to start off with. Do you want more of a neutral nose angle? Do you want something a little bit nose up? Do you want it a little bit nose down? Whatever you decide to do, commit to that and then stick with it for at least a couple weeks. Don't go practice and then go out and play around and it doesn't work. And now all of a sudden you're like, this doesn't work. I gotta figure something else out. Commit to it and then practice it, because once that becomes muscle memory, it's much easier to replicate what you were doing in practice out on the course. So yeah, I would just say you absolutely have to practice the same thing over and over and over. And it might not be a bad idea to take a stack of putters and just practice putt really quickly, just so you kind of ingrain that muscle memory instead of treating every putt kind of like a tournament putt for this particular moment. Another thing that you have to do whenever you're putting is follow through. If you don't follow through, you're not going to make it. If you do sometimes you can make it by not following through. You just get kind of lucky, but most of the time, if you don't follow through, you're not going to make it, plain and simple. So drill that form as much as you can, and the only way you can do that is practice, and then practice following through every single time. Every single time. Release points are different for different people. You're going to hit at different angles, but if you are following through, it helps a lot. I'd say it's the most important thing.
This one from Annoyingly Anonymous.
Wow, okay.
In our area, there are tons of mosquitoes and no bug sprays at all. We had purchased some mosquito resistors that clip onto our bags that work pretty well. Wondering if it would be tournament legal since the chemical gets vaporized and has a slight odor. Thanks, Eric McCabe, Robert R. Mac McCall, and Bobby Big Mac Brown.
I mean, yeah. If there were rules against people smelling bad, then a lot of people would get disqualified from tournaments.
I could name a few.
Yeah, right. So it's like, no, that there is not a rule against that unless it was super offensive to somebody to the point where it made them unable to play. You can't disqualify someone for smelling bad, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Next question comes from, I was looking at fantasy disc golf and not paying attention.
Okay.
Next one comes from Kyle. I'm curious whatever happened to the Latitude 64 Saxon Overmold that was listed to be released last year. Did the musket take its place instead?
I don't know if it took its place, but I just know that it was put on hold for some reason. Don't really know what the reason was. I know that's not an entertaining answer, but that's the truth.
Not much else to be said about that.
Yep.
That's all I got. What was it? Forrest Gump. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, that's right.
I was looking at Skip
So
Ace
here,
again.
while you look at Skip Ace, I got something for you. All right.
Okay, good.
So
What is that? Why that one?
Over the course,
Why that one?
Over the course of the winter, we've had some fun with our team putter stuff with Team Warden, Team Judge, Team Marshal, Team Deputy, all that stuff. And we ran some discs that had those team stamps on them so that you could, pledge your allegiance to one of the putters that you like the best. Obviously, I reside on Team Warden, 100% the best team, and if you're not on our team, you're wrong. But that's beside the point. We are making some more of those putters because it's almost time to play disc golf in a lot of areas. Some people have already been playing disc golf, and if you have, good for you. That's super cool. A lot of us haven't here, but we're about to go to somewhere where it's warm, and that kind of kicks the season off, and we're excited to play disc golf. So we're running some more Team Stamp putters, and we're going to have those available on the DD Retail site pretty soon. We have made 50 of each of the Warden, Judge, Deputy, and Marshal.
Nice.
They should go live tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. They may not, but I'm pretty sure that's right. For one lucky winner, one lucky Team Warden purchaser of one of those 50, I found, so they're going to be classic hard Wardens in the retail store, but I found this Prime,
Burst?
Yes,
Okay.
Burst, and they look good. But I found this Prime Warden on the shelf, and I'm not sure if you can tell on the screen, but it's the most beautiful burst disc there ever was. Maybe not the most beautiful, but like it's crazy bursty. Usually you don't see blue and gray together, but they're together in this. And when I saw that, I said, I must have this to stamp with the Team Warden and to give away to somebody. So if you are one of the 50 people, or if you buy more than one Team Warden putter, if you're one of those people who buy those, we're going to keep track of who buys those and randomly send this to one of you who buys a Team Warden putter. All you have to do is buy one of them.
Wow.
And once we make that decision, we'll announce who is going to get it, and then I will send it to you personally. And if you want me to sign it, that's cool. And if you're like, hey, keep your ink off that stupid disc, then I respect that as well. But this is
have me write something on the back of it too.
No, you cannot have Bobby write anything on the back of it. It's very important. Okay. But yeah, just a super cool looking disc. If you're looking to get some Team Wardens and you order some of those, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to get this particular beautiful Prime Burst Warden. If you're listening on the audio podcast, gray and blue burst with a pretty sweet kind of like holographic bluish stamp. It's beautiful.
I'll take a picture of my phone and I'll make it the podcast.
Thumbnail?
Featured image, yeah.
Nice. So yeah, check that out. Go to dynamicdisc.com and pick some of those up. And if you're not a Team Warden guy, then you're dead to me. But also there are Team Judge Team Judge Wardens. Man, I'm on one. Team Judge is on
Almost got
there.
my headache.
Team Deputy, Team Marshal, all that stuff is available on there starting tomorrow, Wednesday the 20th.
That's what I'm saying, Johnny V. It'd be better if it was a deputy.
It would be better if it was a deputy.
Next one is from Speak Pipe Westy.
Hey guys, this is Westy. My question today is regarding the Raider. I know you're probably getting a lot of questions about it, and I'm just curious what it feels like. If it feels like any other discs in your lineup. I picked up a Defender really hoping that it was going to take a spot in my bag because I throw trespasses right now for my distance driver, but I'm looking for something a little more overstable, but not quite as overstable as the Enforcer, and I just really didn't like the feel of the Defender in my hand. So I was just kind of wondering, since you have thrown the prototypes, if you can let us know what it feels like, what it might kind of feel like in the Trilogy or just the Dynamic Disc lineup. Thanks a lot. Keep it real.
Sweet. Thanks for the question, Westy. So if I understand correctly, you currently throw trespasses. You picked up a Defender to try it out, but you don't want something quite as overstable as that. The Raider is that disc. It is right in between, in my opinion, a trespass and a Defender, or a trespass and an Enforcer. It's got a little bit of turn early in the flight, not so much that you're going to like turn and burn it, but you can tell it's going to move a little bit to the right and then finish to the left. It's got it doesn't turn and burn.
Oh, I was just saying that because you said it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making notes about the Raider.
No.
Will turn and burn. Yeah, so if you haven't, sorry, this is a flight that I don't think we've really had in our distance drivers quite like this before. And it goes really, really far. In fact, we had Jordan Castro and Chris Clemens in town a couple weekends ago, and we went through the Raiders. And on hole 5 at Jones East, it's 470 something uphill. And Eric McCabe goes for it most of the time, gets up there most of the time, but it's a smash. He throws far. And these guys didn't get their best pull on the Raider. Maybe they let it go a little too low or just didn't quite hit it how they wanted to. And all 3 of the ones that we tested were still in bounds close enough to the basket to get an eagle too. So this disc will absolutely bomb. And we only have a couple of like true tester prototypes instead of the team prototypes here right now. But as soon as they get here, we're going to be sharing those with our team to get some more feedback, to get them in people's hands. And I think y'all are going to like it a lot. Yeah, right in between a trespass and an enforcer. And I think it's closer to the speed of a defender. That's more what it feels like, is that defender speed 13 rim. It feels really good to me.
All right, we had Bentley send in his speak pipe question right at the last minute.
Nice.
See what he has to say.
What's up, Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric McCabe, and Robert McCall? Got 2 questions for you. The first one is, I've recently got a Truth and a Maverick, and both fit perfectly in my bag for straight shots.
Sweet.
Just wondering what would fit that slot for a distance driver. Also,
if the Maverick is really straight for you, then your distance driver you'd want would probably be a Renegade. That's what I would check out. Either a Lucid or a Fusion Renegade will probably be more straight than something like a Trespass for you, which will act a little bit overstable if those discs are going very straight for you.
on my forehands, a lot of times I will throw them too low and they burn on the ground and I can't get a full shot out of them.
Worm burner.
So how do I keep this higher? Thanks for all you do, and as always, keep it real.
What you got?
It's hard to say how to get a shot higher other than just to say, just throw it higher, you know? But I think what a lot of people do when throwing forehands especially is it feels like you have to reach back really far, you know, to get a lot of power on the disc. And when you do that, naturally, it feels like you're going to reach back pretty high. And when you do that, you're trying to draw a line to your shot. And when you do reach back pretty high on a forehand, I think that does cause people to try and throw it into the ground. Or you may just be trying to throw it too hard. And when you do that, that's going to make your wrist roll, and a lot of times that's going to force the disc into the ground as well. So if I were you, I would focus on pulling back just kind of at your chest height, even maybe just a little bit lower than that if you want to. Bend your knees and get down a little bit. You don't want to be standing super duper upright when you're throwing a forehand. And then when you let it go, make sure that your palm is either flat out side to side, like you're slapping somebody that you don't like in the face, or slightly up to the sky. That's going to help your disc to not turn and burn, but rather to get a little bit of extra, distance straight and then finish to the right like it's supposed to.
Excellent.
Excellent.
All right, we got one last question. YouTubers, if when you're watching or as you're watching, put your questions in and we'll get to you once we finish the audio portion, but this is the last question of the audio show. This is from Jared. I use a fan grip to putt. I rest my index finger on the bead and then fan my 3 fingers underneath in the middle of the disc. My snap is generated from wrist pop and pressure between my thumb and ring/pinky finger. It's always felt comfortable for me, but I fear I am not going to be as consistent as I develop my putt further. I always hear stick with what's comfortable, but is this a wrong way of doing it? Hashtag team judge.
Well, you've already done something wrong. No, I think there's something to be said for doing what's comfortable, assuming that it's working for you, right? A lot of people would look at somebody like Josh Anthon's putting form and say, that shouldn't work. You're spinning the disc too much. You're bringing it to the side of your body too much, or something like that. I mean, I don't think he actually does that, but they might say that. But the dude's good at putting, so you're never going to say, hey, don't do that, because he jams putts 24/7. You look at Eric McCabe is a great spin putter who has a lot of wrist action, and it works really well for him. So you're never going to say, hey, Eric, putt a different way, because it's working for him. Assuming that it's working for you, I would stick with it. But if you're having trouble either getting the disc to the basket or if you're having trouble with consistency, then it would probably be worth seeing what you could do to increase that consistency just by going to the putting to the practice basket. Don't try different stuff during rounds. Definitely don't try it during a tournament round. But just go to the practice basket and try some stuff out. There's nothing on the line. If you miss a practice putt while you're trying to figure something out, who cares? Figure out what works best for you and then just stick with that and improve that. I think my putting form isn't, by any means perfect. I think some people would look at that and be like, hey, that's weird. The way that you putt is weird. You use too much hyzer. Your wrist is weird.
You're just weird.
Well, and that's true across the board. But I generally make a decent amount of putts, and it's because I've honed in my putting form to be the same every single time, or at least close to the same as I can every single time. So yeah, do what works for you.
All right, guys, thank you so much for sending your questions. We really appreciate it. Remember, trilogychallenge.com to get your Trilogy Challenge going. Discgolfmatchplay.com to get some match play playing in or host one in your area. We will not be here next week. We will be at the Memorial.
Yep.
So make sure you follow us on Instagram, Dynamic Discs, on Instagram and on Facebook, because we'll be having some fun out there. We'll also be doing our little vlogs that we like to do. So
yeah.
We'll be back for a third year, season 3 of our vlogging, and this will be our first disc golf adventure together.
And if you're listening to this on Wednesday, February 20th or later, go to dynamicdiscs.com, purchase one of the Team Warden Classic Burst Wardens there, and you have a shot at winning one of the coolest burst discs I've seen. This is a Prime Warden with a Team Warden stamp. One of you will be randomly selected to receive it, so go check those out. And if you want to buy other Wardens while you're there too, hey, that's good. Or other discs, that's good too, but definitely get some Wardens while you're there.
And skipace.com. Get signed up for the Disc Golf Answerman League. Just go to join a league and use the code DGAM. Get signed up. The first one we're going to pick for is the Memorial Championships. And we're also going to be working with Disc Golf Pro Tour on some of their fantasy disc golf stuff. So be on the lookout for that information.
Yeah, man.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
All right, YouTubers.
Hello, YouTubes. Is it possible, Bobby, for us to get recliners so that we can just lean back for the rest of the show? And
It'd be nice.
Man, I'd be about that.
So I'm trying to put picks in here.
What? During the show?
Yes.
Do it after.
Sorry.
Golly, dude. Okay, I'm going to read some questions then while you...
Well, yeah, both of our mics
distracted.
work, but...
All right.
After we're done, I got to go figure out what's wrong with the second mic.
Yeah, it sucks. Smitten says, you guys coming to Great Lakes Open? I don't think so.
No.
Caleb says, Anton is a putting goat. You're not wrong. He's super freaking good. Johnny V says, spin putters are the smartest people, too. What if you're a hybrid putter?
Oh.
Half smart?
Then you're kind of smart.
Yeah, mostly smart. Anton was Ricky before Ricky was Ricky. That's true. When you walked up to it, Ricky, at least over the last few years, seemed like when he stepped up to any putt, it was just guaranteed, like, this is it. I'm going to make it. And that's how Anton has been for years. He's very, very good. Andrew says, instead of throwing an overstable putter, I power down on a verdict or compass to save a spot in my bag for another disc. I'm comfortable doing this with forehand or backhand, so why throw overstable putters? Andrew, I like throwing an overstable putter instead of a mid-range so that I can control the speed a little bit better. I think if you are slowing down on a mid-range, most mid-ranges I'm throwing at 70, 80, 90-ish% most of the time, and that gets a certain flight out of them. But if you slow that down to 50% for only, a 200-foot shot, that disc may act a little bit differently than you were planning on. And so that's why I like throwing an overstable putter, because I think it's a little bit more forgiving because it spins a little bit slower. And, I think it's easier to put close to the basket for myself. So I think that's why a lot of people throw those.
How far did you go back up?
I'm at Stephen Halsey right now. Is there a DD disc that flies like the Pure but not so shallow? The Deputy is a similar depth to the Pure. I think it is going to be a little bit more understable than the Pure, but not super duper understable compared to the Pure. Probably the next one would be a Warden. That's what I would say. Asum King says, what are your longest throw? What's your longest throw, Bobby?
5.
5? Like 5,000?
Yeah.
What's your real longest throw?
I don't know. I've never really... I've never measured.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like that the air sheriff throw was one of my longer ones.
Yeah, you smashed on that for sure.
Do you remember what that one was?
No, but it was also into the wind.
Yeah.
The longest shot I remember throwing, I was playing a tournament in Austin at a course that didn't have tee signs, but they gave us distances on the scorecard. And this hole was 540. And this was in 2013 or 20, I don't remember. It was quite a while ago. And I put it about 20 feet out. That was definitely my just full connection, the longest throw I've ever thrown. Since then, I'm happy if I'm in the 450 range. That's where I'm at. Let's see. Skylar says, Robert, what is your putting grip? If you're still on YouTube, Skylar, I'll show you. I bring the first knuckle of my index finger that goes on where the bead would be. Pinky goes pressed against the rim, and then my other fingers just kind of fan out a little bit under the bottom. I don't grab it really tightly, but it's not kind of loose in my hand, so it looks kind of like this if you're still on the YouTube page.
How does a flow compare to a ballista and a sheriff?
Flow's more overstable than both of those discs.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, it's kind of like flow's kind of like a 11-ish 12 speed that you kind of have to throw hard to get some turn out of it, and then it'll come back. Sean says, so my question is, my average distance is 330 with 8 speed on a golf line. I want to get over 400. Should I keep throwing my 8 speed while refining my form, or should I move up to faster stuff? You can probably come close to 400 right now with faster stuff, just assuming that you get the right disc. I would try out. I think a trespass is a good one to test if you're ready to make that jump. If it moves a little bit too right for you, then you might try a bio enforcer, a bio defender, something like that, or even a sheriff. And then when the Raider comes out, I think that's going to be your Huckleberry. Pretty good.
Hey, where is Eric? Eric, we had some technical difficulties with one of the mics, and Eric said he had some course design work that he could be doing, so he decided to go work on that. I'm going to try to figure out what's up with the mic once we're done.
Yep.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. I'm running a Trilogy Challenge in Bowling Green as a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. I'm doing it as a flex start in hopes of getting more people. Nice.
Awesome. Jason says, when throwing a forehand, do you grip the disc more with your fingers at the rim, on the end of the disc, or across your thumb on the top? I would say my fingers are pressing into the rim. I like to have the pads of my fingers facing the rim instead of facing the flight plate of the disc. And that's kind of what I'm pushing into is the flight plate of the rim. What dynamic disc is equal to an Innova Mamba?
Number 5.
You love 5. It's your favorite.
You know the song Mambo Number 5?
Well, of course. You're right. It also makes me think of The Office because that's Michael's ringtone. Probably the Witness would be our closest disc to the Mamba. Very, very understable. Pretty much roller out of the box. I think that would be it.
Which one did you say?
The Witness.
Witness.
It's very understable. Yeah.
Witness.
Man, those maidens on the Lat 64 store are sweet. You are not wrong. Pretty awesome. Shane says it's his first time TDing an event. Any tips? What do you think tips for running a Trilogy Challenge, Bobby?
The tips would be to pick a nice day.
Make sure the weather is perfect.
No, that makes No, the tip is, if you've already figured out the format, or if you haven't, remember the format can be just about anything because this is an unsanctioned event. So you can pick any format that you want: doubles, not doubles, singles.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm not going blank. But you can do whatever you want. I would say just make sure you have a good time. Make sure that the people have a good time. Some people use the prizes to give away. Some people add stuff to the prizes to give away.
Yeah. Be as organized as you can ahead of time. That's going to create less stress for you on the day of the event. I guess you can have a flex start. You can have a shotgun start. I would say flex start might be the best, just so that you can get more people on the course to play. Make sure you advertise it. Use Facebook, use Instagram, advertise it. You might even, it depends on what kind of page you got, but you might even do some paid promotion so you can get out there and get more people
excited about it. Don't think just because you post it one time to Facebook that everybody sees it. That's not the case. You have to post it multiple times. Put flyers up at the course if you can. Make sure the course knows what's going on. If it's a public park, make sure you have some courtesy, professional courtesy. Maybe reach out to the town and say, hey, I'm going to use this particular course out here that's on a public park. I've seen some people do it as simple as having people show up. I've seen people run it just like a big tournament with tables and selling stuff and things like that. So
yeah, it's good. Jack Nicklaus is widely regarded as the greatest of all time, much like Climo is. Yeah, I mean
tacos.
That's true. Yeah, Climo right now has the most world titles in disc golf. I doubt anyone will surpass that. 12 is just absurd. 12 MPO titles. So yeah, I mean, I think he'd be pretty equivalent to Jack Nicklaus in that way. Jared says Raider versus Ballista Pro. I think that the Raider has a slightly smaller rim, but similar distance to the Ballista Pro. Maybe just a hair shorter, but not a lot. And then stability-wise, I think they're going to be pretty close once we get the production runs. I would say the Raider. I'm honestly not sure because we only have early prototypes. And it's been very cold outside, and when the air is more dense like this, it tends to make things fly a little bit more understable than they normally would. So we don't have a perfect test for that just yet, but hopefully we will soon.
Daryl asked about, you didn't talk about this, to actually manufacture this. Which companies actually manufacture their discs? Is it common in the industry for companies like DD and Discmania to outsource their manufacturing? Yes, that is a somewhat common, fairly common.
Right. There's we have manufacturers like Innova manufactures discs for Discmania, for Millennium, for Heiserbaum. I don't think they have any other ones.
Discraft makes them for
DGA.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Legacy has their own machine now. I think they started out using an injection molding company. Pretty sure they have their own now. I'm not sure what MVP does, to tell you the truth.
They make
or Prodigy. Is that right?
I believe MVP has their own machines.
Okay. And then and then Latitude 64 makes discs for us, for Westside, and now for Discmania in some way.
And Gateway makes their own, and they make they used to make what was Scott Stokely's.
Oh yeah. Fly High.
Yeah, they used to make
like
theirs.
That. Yeah. There's another one. Prodiscus is the manufacturer, and they make discs for. Oh man. Full turn disc. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Okay, Danny says, I have mid-range accuracy issues between 100 and 200 feet, but I comfortably throw a fairway that distance. Should I work on mid-range game or do what is comfortable? There are kind of two schools of thought on throwing fairways shorter distances. In general, if you throw a fairway a little bit shorter than normally you would, it's going to act more overstable. If you're playing for that, then that's great. But I think having more tools in your bag is better than having less, so I would definitely work on throwing mid-ranges just so you could have both.
Favorite cut of steak and what temperature? Ribeye, medium well. No, medium rare to medium well, depending on where you're ordering it from.
Medium well. Get out of here with that crap.
Sometimes they if you say medium rare, they weigh rare.
And that's perfect.
No, it can't be too rare.
I enjoy filet more than ribeye, though I like ribeye a lot. And medium rare for me. Rare to medium rare. There's a guy who is on Team DD who is friends with Dixon. Larry Cooper, you know him. I've eaten steaks with him before, and he likes them black and blue. Do you know what that is? So blue steak is basically raw, like just straight up raw. Black and blue is a sear. It's like, psst, psst, here you go.
Really?
It's kind of crazy. Ugh. But it's really good, but it has to be like a very high quality steak in order for it
Johnny
to work.
V says, go ahead and buy all new stuff, Bobby. Thanks, Johnny. We will get all that. BNHphoto.com.
Yeah. Marty says, is Sebastian coming to the Memorial?
He's coming to the one leg of the trip. He's going to be dropped off in Oklahoma City for his mommy to watch him. And so he's going to be with us for, I think it takes about, how long does it take to get to Oklahoma City from here?
3.5.
So not too long of a trip, but he's going to be with us for a little bit. So it'll be his first RV trip.
Havasu DG says, I think that's Graham Russell. If it is, what's up, Graham? How's the knee been treating you lately? I've had, I kind of tweaked my left knee again playing basketball a couple weeks ago. And it's just been kind of sore since. I got dead legged like right above it. And I didn't think it messed with anything in my knee. I thought it was just like right above my knee. And then it's kind of been sore in the joint for the last couple weeks. It's also cold here, and I haven't really had like anything hit that in a long time. So I'm sure it's just like a small tweak. I would very much doubt that it's like an actual injury, but I've just been kind of trying to take it easy as far as physical stuff goes since. So not a lot of disc golf because there's snow on the ground, but haven't really done any basketball or I've played volleyball since, but I've kind of been taking it easy. So Mike says Bobby's internet distance is 5,000. That's true because he loves 5 so much. Robert, can I have a Mercy with a Team Warden stamp so I can be on your team? Thank you, the hot dog. You would just be lying to yourself. Ballista Pro Bombs. Thanks, Robert. Thank you, Yelta. Let's see. Ooh, mine did the thing where it just skips to the bottom again. That's really cool.
Today is my birthday, and I'm just waiting for my signed EMAC Truth to come in from Eric. I ordered a couple days ago. Thanks for all you do. Nice.
That's awesome.
I'm sure Eric will like that. Trying to find out who makes Catablast discs. Gotta ask someone sponsored by them.
Castaplast is made.
Oh, Casta. I forgot that is.
Made by their own. Like I think they do their own manufacturing. I'm pretty sure. Went shopping for some more drivers and noticed that speed numbers were different on the website versus what was in the store. Has there been a retooling of discs lately? Barry, we haven't done a retooling of discs, but we did relabel some flight numbers here in the last year or so. And that was because the discs, when first tested, came out with numbers that were accurate in Finland or Sweden where they were made, and then just didn't fly the same over here. So we tried to get some numbers that were a little bit closer to accurate in the States. And just kind of as molds evolve over time, sometimes they become a little more stable, a little less stable. So we changed some of those to try and reflect that.
We have Penku the hot dog.
Right.
I'm going to keep it real. If one wins 12-time world champions, Chips, the level of competition is low. Now when the level is much higher, there's not as much of a clear dominance by someone. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, maybe so, but it's hard. Like, okay, I wasn't playing disc golf at the time when Climo won.
Who determined that the competition wasn't as good?
Exactly.
Who determines that?
Right. I do think as far as top players' names that you hear about today, there are more now than you heard about at the time when Climo was winning. But that doesn't mean that they were easy. And I would never take something like that away from a world champion. I think regardless of the competition, unless he had bionic arms and legs and was using some super, illegal way to compete, there's no way you could say, oh, this competition is way better, this competition is way worse. It's different now than it was then. I don't think that's going to happen again, though, because we've seen a lot more, at least it seems like a lot more parity of people who are challenging at that top level consistently and who are able to commit themselves fully to disc golf. I do think there are more people doing that now than there were when Climo was winning some of his championships.
So do you think, I've heard this question before, would the Climo of his day, how would he fare against Macbeth right now?
It's really hard to tell. I've seen some video of Climo in his prime, but it just discs are different now. Courses are different now, I don't know. I think as far as their competitive mindset goes, they're probably pretty similar in that way. I think as far as all-around physical tools go, I think Macbeth has him edged a little bit. Obviously, he throws farther than him but he's younger now, and we have discs that go a lot farther now than they did then. And Macbeth has a good forehand, and that was something that Climo could throw if he needed to, but never really leaned on it off the tee or anything like that. So I guess I would give the slight edge to Macbeth, but it's just different. I mean, it's like asking if Oscar Robertson would play well in today's NBA. I don't know. It's a totally different league. I couldn't tell you.
How close is the rated to the recoil? They sound similar.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty similar. Yeah.
Similar.
I think they're going to be pretty similar. I do think the Raider is going to have a slightly wider rim than the recoil.
Any tricks for getting your lower body more into drives?
Lower body more into drives? How far down are you? My goodness. Okay, I'm going to answer that, and I'm going to go back up a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Getting your lower body into drives, I would say you want to engage your legs and your hips as much as possible. So working on your footwork, I'd say that's one of the most important things. And Danny actually has a video about footwork that you need to go check out on YouTube, just where he kind of breaks down what proper footwork is supposed to look like, kind of the timing and the pace of it. And I think if you're not getting enough lower body into it, then you're probably maybe standing up a little bit too tall and just kind of, I don't know, you could be going a little too slow or a little too fast. I can't tell you without looking at your form. But you're probably not thinking about bending your knees quite enough. I don't think they need to be super duper bent, but they do need to be enough that they can, be dynamic and kind of springy so that
hashtag be dynamic.
Hashtag be dynamic. That was on purpose. Hire me, Jeremy. So that they can really get more into the throw. If you're standing up too tall, I think it's hard to get everything involved in the way that you want to. Okay, I'm going back up a little bit.
A couple more questions, then we got to get off and get going.
Kristen says, "What DD plastic is more resistant to beat in? I had a Lucid Sheriff that was perfect, but now too flippy." Kristen, discs beat in. That's the hard truth of it. I think distance drivers tend to beat in a little bit more faster than fairways, personally. I'm not sure of the reason for that. I think because there's more rim material on a distance driver, I think chunks tend to take a harder toll on those than they do on fairway drivers. That is a totally unconfirmed idea, but it's something that I think could be true. Would a boatman be a little easier distance than the Trespass, or is it not really that much slower? I think the boatman and Trespass are pretty similar in speed. The Trespass is probably a little bit more understable, so it might actually be easier to get some distance out of. What DD disc is a touch more overstable than the Evidence? I would say the Regular Truth is a touch more overstable, or even the EMAC Truth is a great answer to that. They said Innova produces for Infinite discs as well. So when we were going through manufacturers, I forgot about that. Let's see. JVD says Team Filet. Thank you very much.
Team Filet.
Way better than ribeye. I don't want my steak still mooing, but I don't mind if it's on the rear side. It doesn't bother me very much. I just saw a Team Prime Rib or Team New York Strip. Strip is my least favorite cut of steak.
Yeah.
Other than like sirloin. Anyway, I'm gonna go down to the very bottom and see if there's one last one. Can I get a form critique? Thomas, you absolutely can. If you go to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page, you can post video of yourself throwing, and we will do our best to try and help you out.
That all we got?
Yeah, that's
Johnny V says GBO steak night. You buying JV?
We're gonna steak night. We're gonna eat it
that
right.
steak. Are y'all driving straight through
Scrubs
to the
fans out
Memorial?
there?
Yes. We're taking off Saturday morning, driving for a good 10 hours. Then we're going to probably find a Walmart and sleep, and then wake up the next morning and drive the rest of the way.
Nice.
And mostly interstate, yes, I-40. Smash walking by. I'll take it.
Dude, nice.
All right, guys, we're going to... Oh, go ahead.
Super fast. I like this. Thomas says, fun to see Rusko throw discs very well in Nantucket. Yeah, Rusko can play disc golf. He can play. He's not joking. Could be a fun feature card, manufacturer bosses. I think that would be super fun. There's, I'm going to give the early edge to Steve Rico because he is very, very good at disc golf.
All right, guys, thank you. Yes, Scrubs is my favorite show of all time. Yes, it is. It's a great show.
Yep.
We are going to get off the air here. We appreciate you tuning in on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are our lifeline, our lifeblood. You're the reason we do what we do. If it wasn't for you, we would have no viewers.
And we'd just be talking.
Which is like
what we do after work anyway.
Right.
It's not nearly as fun as this.
So if you guys are still wondering about the taco show, I'm still looking into it. I'm actually looking into ways of getting it out there because it does cost some money to put podcasts out there because I don't want to use the freeway.
Okay, me neither.
The freeway, you don't own your stuff. So
we're going to own our stuff and our tacos.
And our tacos, yeah. We want to give our tacos away.
First things first, we got to get some apparel. That's the most important.
No, we got to sponsor players first.
We're going to need some sponsored players to wear our apparel. So if you haven't...
Isn't that how it works?
If you haven't already filled out a sponsorship request on the DD page, make sure and denote that you're applying to Team Talco, and we'll get that taken care of for you.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have an idea for a business and then get sponsored players.
Out of the gate, number one, start
number
sponsoring
one,
people.
so, all right.
You get your name out there on tacos.
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
and have a taco hat.
And it says let's taco about it.
They could be super soft judges like my taco commercial. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you.
Okay, bye. You gonna music them? Gonna hit them with a little jam?
Oh yeah, I forgot the jams.
I'll just hold up this Team Warden while you do that.